I remember the day like it was etched into my skin. Sharp, brutal, impossible to forget. I was just a kid then, eyes brimming with innocence and dreams that shimmered brighter than anything they told me I couldn't have. I wanted to be a painter. Not a real artist, mind you, but someone who created with soul, who poured life onto canvas in wild, vivid strokes. It sounded crazy to everyone. My family, practical, grounded, relentless, told me I was delusional. They said I was wasting my life embarrassing the family with my foolishness. Paint? That's not a job, my father scoffed, his voice heavy with contempt. You're better than that. You should think about a real career, something stable, respectable. My mother shook her head, her eyes pitying, as if I'd already failed before I even started. I was mocked behind my back, called a dreamer with no sense. Every comment was a dagger, each one more humiliating than the last. But I clung to my dream, unyielding, stubborn, desperate to prove them wrong. So I left. I packed my bags and moved to a cramped apartment, away from their sneers. I worked odd jobs to pay the rent, hardly enough to survive, let alone chase my art. But every morning, I painted. I stayed up nights when sleep was a distant memory, creating pieces that no one saw. I fought self-doubt, poverty, exhaustion. I stared down failure, every rejection letter a punch to the gut. But I kept going, because deep inside, I knew this was my truth. Years slipped past like ghosts. My work was raw, imperfect, but it carried my soul. Slowly, subtly, I started to get recognition, first from local galleries, then online. My paintings resonated with strangers who saw the fire I poured onto each canvas. I entered competitions, took risks, and finally, I broke through. I made a name. My art was my rebellion, my redemption. I proved I was worth something outside their narrow expectations. And then, one day, I made it big. Not just big, transformative. I showed the world my voice, my vision, my truth. I'd become someone they couldn't ignore. I'd built a life on my terms, from the ashes of their doubts. I was finally free. But I didn't go home right away. Partly out of pride, partly out of fear of their contempt. It's a dangerous thing to return after you've proved everyone wrong. But eventually, I knew I had to face them, to show them what their disbelief had nearly destroyed, what I had fought tooth and nail to become. That day, I drove back to the town I'd fled from, my car slicing through the familiar, sleepy streets. The house hadn't changed much, still worn, still small, but to me, it felt like a cage that I'd escaped long ago. I stepped out, heart pounding, the weight of years pressed against my chest. I walked in, the smell of old wood and faded wallpaper filling my lungs. My family was there, gathered in the living room, eyes widening in disbelief as they saw me. I looked at their faces, their fears, their skepticism, and I finally saw through their eyes. I saw the doubts they'd buried deep beneath their words, the embarrassment they'd felt for me all those years. And then I revealed it. I carried with me the latest masterpiece, an explosion of color, raw emotion pouring off the canvas. I set it down on the table, proud and trembling at the same time. My voice broke but steady. This is me. This is what I've built with every ounce of hope and pain I had. This is my truth. I hope you see it now. Silence stretched long and heavy. My father stared, eyes wide, lips parted, but no words came. My mother's hands trembled as she looked at the painting, tears threatening to spill. For the first time ever, I saw them understand, really see. Not as a person who dared to defy the impossible. They didn't speak right away, but I didn't need them to. I had already won, because I'd returned not just to show them what I'd become, but to show myself what I'd endured and what I'd achieved. I wasn't just a painter anymore. I was a testament to resilience, a living proof that betrayal and doubt can forge strength. As I turned to leave, my father reached out, a rare flicker of respect in his eyes. "You did good," he said quietly. His voice cracked. "You really did. That was the moment I knew." Success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about the journey, the pain, the relentless pursuit of who you are meant to be. And proving everyone wrong in the end, that's the sweetest victory of all. I walked out of that house with my head held high, knowing I had reclaimed my story. And I was just getting started.